If you like this video, make sure to visit our Vimeo page and follow us to get the latest update.
Hello team, can we start?
Yes, Ramesh.
So yesterday we discussed polymer and monomer settings and all. So I'm just recapping the information again. Everything in EHS, it starts with material only. Substance volume tracking generally deals with tracking of chemicals and hazardous related substances. It can be in three scenarios: import, export, and production. Depends on the regulation. Generally, SVT will depend whether how it is working as per the conditions. Exporting is happening from outside of Europe. The same the legal entity is sending some goods to the company inside Europe. This is nothing but export. The sales order will be generated on other legal entity and it will be transferred. The sales order, the delivery, based on the confirmation, the invoices, everything will be tracked, and the pure substances which are involved inside the material, that will be tracked. For import, you are just purchasing some chemicals from outside of Europe and you can get the information. Means a purchase order will be created to a vendor and you will receive the goods. That is the confirmation, and your planned quantity will be confirmed quantities. In this regard, the pure substances which are involved in the materials, they will be tracked. So that is purchasing. In your own plant in which area or Europe, you are producing some chemicals and you are just tracking it, how much quantity it is producing inside your European plants. So this is production. Filtration can be happened in multiple places in SVT. Fuse data, all the materials will be considered for tracking. At the time, business don't want to put too much load on the database files. For data consistency, generally we put some filtrations on materials which are not required for tracking. The filtration can be happened and it can be put in multiple places. So at this moment, on material side, at the initial stage also we can put the filtration. So there is no need to perform any step after that. So on material, we will put a flag inside a classification view by assigning a class. And inside the class, a characteristic will be there that will be responsible for maintaining the value, whether it is relevant for the material is relevant for SVT or not. So that is the filtration which can be put on material side. Suppose sometimes the business requirement will come like the involved substances in a material, always it is a pure substances. So the pure substances, a discrimination will be applied on pure substances. Whether if it is a polymer, then the involved monomers inside the polymer will be tracked. If it is a polymer, the involved monomers will be tracked. If it is not a polymer, it will be tracked. If it is not a polymer, it will be tracked. So that is a kind of business requirement. And we have the proper configuration for that. Generally, we use the validity area like underscore reach inside SVT, relevant for regulation reach. So we will see how many countries are present inside. Around 30 countries are there. See this? This is the old data, but it is okay. Overall, European countries are there. Been able to see them. So this is the one. Again, I'm going back to the configuration. This is the configuration node for polymer and monomer configuration. So it is a program like a robot. For a robot, what exactly we do? We use it to provide the commands. Okay, use it to provide each and every command. If you miss some command, it will not work. Like the same way, the program also will work the same. So to identify a polymer means generally pure substances will be polymers. It can be a polymer, it cannot be. How it can be considered as a polymer? Because in a particular VAT, we used to mention a phrase which is related to polymer. Then by using that phrase, we need to identify, okay, this particular pure substance is a polymer. Means we need to read the pure substance. So program should read the pure substance. And for reading that, we need to provide the proper place where exactly the phrase is maintained. So in EHS, we used to mention the place as VAT plus characteristic combination. So we provided what exactly the VAT it needs to look and what are the other characteristics we need to consider. Base is always regulatory list. So we are already passing the regulatory list. If it is equal to reach, the condition is satisfied, otherwise it is not. And 1012 info. In 1012 info, what we are saying, we need to, the program should check for the polymer phrase. So in this characteristic, you need to compare the value with the phrase, and the phrase is maintained in environmental parameters under the polymer indicator. So it will go to this particular VAT and it will check for this characteristic with reach, and it will check with the characteristic with the phrase which is maintained in the environmental parameter. It will consider the rating and validity area also. That is polymer. So if the phrase is maintained in the pure substance and system understands, okay, this particular pure substance is a polymer. If it is a polymer, according to the business requirement, what it needs to do, it will search for the monomers. It will search for the monomers. Again, the condition is it is a robot. We need to say, give the place. Monomer is a composition. So there is no need to provide the characteristic. Monomer value is composition value assignment can be okay to go ahead further. So for the monomer, we need to provide the value assignment type. So the value assignment type will be considered, and the composition which is present inside this value assignment type is copied, and it will check for the monomer substances. And instead of that particular polymer substance, the track tables will be updated with monomers. That is the whole concept of polymers and monomers. Okay, just the standardization is provided like this. You can put whatever VAT, no issues at all. Right now, I'm putting the VAT as under the regulations notification status. I am putting this VAT. Some people, what they will do, some people directly put in specification. There is a VAT for that type of substance. You can able to see in CGO2 in general section 1 general data. Under that type of substance will be there. In general data, you can put type of substance. People use it put this one also, type of substance. It can be maintained as polymer also. If you assign the phrase set polymer to this particular one, if you assign the phrase to this particular phrase set, you can also see there. And you need to change the configuration. Just remove this VAT and put the type of substance VAT, that is 005. Yeah. So like this way, you can control the configuration. Okay. So this is the whole concept of polymer and monomer related stuff. If still you people have any queries on polymer monomer, just let me know. Otherwise, we will move ahead to the next topic.
Yeah, I have a question. Like if this type of substance is maintained, but you leave it blank, then what happens? Is it going to be considered as a default?
Okay. For simply, it is a robot. It will check with the phrase as polymer. Suppose you maintained it as a blank. So comparison of blank with phrase. What is the result?
False. Got it.
False.
It will become
False means it is not a polymer. That's it.
Um,
If it is a polymer and user is expecting the same, it is his responsibility to maintain the phrase inside the type of substance. If he failed to update that, he is accepting the pure substance as non-polymer. That's it. Anything more?
no.
So it is a very important configuration in SVT. Please let me know if you have still anything or if you need any further clarifications on this particular topic. So this is the end of polymer and monomer configurations. We already started the configuration. Again, we will go back to the configuration page again. We will continue the further notes. Tools for country determination. The filtration or the process can be controlled by maintaining the validity areas and all. And by using this configuration, you can maintain different countries and you can control the same concept. Okay. This is the most key configuration inside the substance volume tracking. Mr. Sivananda?
Yes, Ramesh.
How can we put filters on material? You have 10 materials in your business. You don't want to activate or track the whole 10 materials. You know only 5 materials should be tracked. Then how to filter
Yeah,
out?
in MM02 or MM02, we need to define as SVT relevant or not. Ramesh.
Okay. Under the classification tab, you will
Yes,
maintain the class inside the class, characteristic will sit and it will be maintained with the value flag activated. Then the material is considered for
SVT.
SVT. If it is not maintained, it is exempted.
Yes.
Okay. You are having around 10,000 materials. And for the 10,000 records, there will be 10 lakhs record created in the system. It is a huge load on the database tables. And it is very, very difficult to manage the information. If the load increases on the table, the data manipulations or the data operations will be very difficult. Even if you try to put the information in the table and trying to search for a value, it will take minutes. The programs generally work with the tables. Unfortunately, the programs run too much of time. In front of the system, you need to wait for minutes. You can wait, user won't wait. Okay, if business need to wait, they will directly say there is some performance issues in your solution, please do something. Data is the complete reason for this. So that is the reason we use it to go for filtrations. Filtrations, it is recommended to apply 60% of the filtrations on the starting point, that is on material level. If you can't distinguish the material, the filtration at material level, what is the next component which is present after the material? Material is linked to what?
Specification.
Yes. Material always linked to the specification. Specification is the key or starting point for EHS. So we can put the filtrations on specifications, and also in between the material and specification, some some data will be there, like a different kind of data. It can be from logistic data, it can be which is controlling event. So we can put a lot of filters on the particular information. Suppose if you can see in material master, how you can distinguish a material is a EHS material. Mr. Venkat, how you can distinguish a material as a EHS material?
The flag in the material master.
Which flag, where it will be?
Can you go to M03?
Yeah,
There
sure,
will
sir.
be
Sure,
two
sir.
flags. One
Tell
will
me, sir.
be DG relevant and the other will be environmental.
In which view I
Basic
can able to see that?
data 2. Basic data 2.
2. Okay. So this is the flag you are saying.
Yes.
Okay. This is the profile you
DG.
are saying about the DG. Okay.
Yes.
This flag is activated. What will be done if this flag is activated? You're saying if this flag is active, that material is EHS related. But my question is, what will happen if this flag is active? What will not happen if this flag is not active?
Like it will not be looking for any hazard relevant.
Forget about hazard. It is completely not relevant to any hazard related stuff. Venkat, if this environmental relevant flag is active, then only for this particular material, customer will get MSDS.
Okay, right.
Okay. If this flag is not active, the particular customer will not receive
SDS is not required.
MSDS. That's it. There is no other use for that. If the material is involved in any kind of logistical operations, logistical orders, Then if we check for environmental relevant flag, if it is active, then only the report shipping will be activated for that particular customer. Otherwise, simply it won't do anything. Even if it is not active, still the material can be treated as dangerous code. There is no relationship between these two terms. In fact, from each side, we have three fields which are flowing into material master. The first field is environmental relevant, which is needed for MSDS shipping. The second field is dangerous goods indicator, which is responsible for maintaining the DG masters. The logistical system always check for this indicator and it will go for DG master and it will check.
Okay.
The third one is in WE execution view. It is a view. Okay. It is a view. WE execution is a view. In that view, hazardous relevant or not. If you activated the HSM, hazardous substance management, there will be the key or checkbox. In that you can able to see whether that particular material is hazardous relevant or not. WE means warehouse related stuff. If the warehouse management is activated, then only you can able to see WE execution view. If you are unable to see that particular view in the material master, ask the material procuring consultant to activate that particular view, and you mention it is required for the HSM related operations. That's it. Only three views, only three fields. These are the three fields which are linked to material master, and you can be able to see the information out there, and it is a controlling thing. Okay.
One question here. You told that there is no relation between dangerous goods indicator and environmental relevant, and whenever we have a material environmentally relevant also, not relevant also, it can still have a DG profile, right?
Yes.
So it can have a DG profile, but if it is a dangerous good, okay, if it is not a non-dangerous good like article, or it is not article but a dangerous good, in that case it would definitely be environmentally relevant, right?
Why?
Because every dangerous good should have a label for itself, right? And label can only be present after MSDS is present.
That is your need. You want to print the MSDS, you want to print the label, then it will be environmental relevant. If
That's
there
what.
is no label or something, if there is nothing you don't want to print, simply you need to maintain a DG master, maintain a DG profile, and you'll go. If you
Okay.
want to have a label, or if you want to create an MSDS, and if it is, you clearly know this is a chemical and this some report shipping is really expected, a label needs to be transferred, something needs to be printed, then it is the reason you need to maintain this environmental relevant flag. Generally, 99% of the materials which are dangerous goods will be
Environmental.
environmental relevant, because they are also chemicals and they need to send MSDSs. Unfortunately, that chemical is a hazardous one or a dangerous good, then the DG profile is activated. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Oh. Suppose you can also put this kind of filtration, right? Suppose if a material is environmentally relevant, then only it can be chosen for SVT. So we can directly put that configuration by selecting like this. There is no field, so we will add the field, no issues. Each scenario, there is no need to select the scenario because you are talking about the material or logistic data, nothing will get selected. Okay, inside the table, where the environmental flag will be, it is in material master, Mara, and the field will be, it will start with K. No need, we have such option. Yes, KZUMW. See this? Selection. Just it is for sort sequence and all. There is no need to maintain. Include. Include means consider this. Exclude. Don't consider. Exempt it. So include. Selection option equal to lower limit. Lower limit is nothing but X. If it is a range field, you need to update the upper value. Then this is the configuration, save it. Next time onwards, it will only check for the environmental relevant. If it is not environmental relevant, simply it will not be considered and it will be exempted. Okay, so right now you put on environmental flag. Like the same way you can put on any data which is related to the material, any data which is related to the sales orders, purchase orders, whatever it is. For the material, what kind of data is generally used to put? Material types can be added inside. Material groups can be added inside. Any kind of field which is present in Mara table, there are 150 plus fields present in Mara. Anything can be possible to put some condition on the material master and you can filter out the data. Like the same way, if you are going for export scenario, what kind of data will be there? Export, sales order. Sales order means order type, order category, partner profiles, country related, multiple things will be there. So for export also, you can put a lot of entries. BWART, I think it is a moment type. It is moment types. For every movement, or if you're moving a particular good from one place to another place, generally in logistic systems, we use it to maintain movement types. Based on the movement types also, we can control the data. Partner profiles. BS type. Even you can put some information, some logics on item category, item type, sales order. In header level, we have order category, order type. In item category, also existing in the item related stuff. Like the same way, you can maintain the sales organizations. That is also one of the key. We have sales organizations around the European regions. For this particular sales organization, the SVT should be active. Like this type of configuration also you can maintain by using this. It is very simple and easy. And for purchasing also same concept. Purchasing organizations, purchase type, purchase categories, purchase item category. There are a lot of information you can put on filters. So this is a next level of filtration process. And this filtration process is in between the material and specification. The material filtration is on classification view. The specification filtrations, we will discuss in few minutes. And this is in middle. It can be depends or based on the tables or the material or logistic related data. You can put a lot of conditions. Okay, this is the key. Most of the times people use it to get frustrated because the information is not coming into the proper tracking tables. We need to check one more time with the selection criteria because this is the filtration. If you put some wrong filtration, that's it. It will be exempted. Okay, so filtration is a very important concept and it is mostly every SVT consultant should use this topic, and based on he need to collect the information from the business. That is a very important thing because collecting information is really, it is a headache, hurdle, anything. Business takes days, weeks to provide this information. That's the reason you need to provide a template for them. In that template, each and every question, each and every data you need to collect, you need to ask for them. Simply ask the business to fill the template. Don't get a meeting or don't get involved initially. Provide the template, ask for the data. Then business will fill the information and finally they come to a conclusion. While submitting the template to you, just have a meeting with that. Review the information, what exactly their requirements and all. Once your review is completed, then it is through. You're perfect. Okay. Then you can say, okay, this is the correct data, what exactly we need. Then you can go to the selection criteria and apply the same logics by using different tables and all. You need to identify where exactly the filtration needed. As a SVT consultant, it is your responsibility to put the filtrations and poke them where exactly they are really required. Okay, so this is selection criteria. As usual, any queries?
Ramesh.
All good?
Yes, Ramesh, all good.
Okay. As I mentioned, the complete financial year is maintained as January 1st to December 31st. So it is a period of 12 months. You can divide it into 4 quarters, and you can also um, track the complete information by quarter wise. It is very easy for reporting purpose. That is the reason we use it to divide the total information into 4 quarters. First will be the 3 months, and the second 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. So each quarter will contain 3 months and will be around 4 quarters per year. Easy thing. Specify quantity limits and reaction. This is based on the registration, generally what exactly you took. And see this is the reach configuration. What will be the quantity you want to track? Means what is the tonnage band you are choosing? Okay, this is the first threshold, and second threshold will be 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 1 lakh tons. These are completely tons. Okay, these are completely 5 threshold values they mentioned. Based on the thresholds, generally we use it to get issues, and we can control the information. Like for the first one, see this, there are 3 types of messages will be there. In the first level, if it is crossing around 70% of the first threshold, so obviously for the 70%, it will display message like your quantity limit is 100 tons, and you already 70 tons of the material or the composition substance is already used, the chemical substance is used, and you are creating the sales order for 71 ton, then system automatically recognizes that, and it will throw a warning message, a display message will be sent. You are entering into, you are crossing the threshold. Threshold is limit value is 70, so you are crossing the threshold. Means it can be a warning message. Okay, it can be a warning message. Nothing will be there. Simply logistic can be saved. Logistic order can be saved, and it can be applicable with all kind of operations. No issues, no problems occurred on that. Just it will give the information to the user. You are entering into the threshold zone. Means you crossed 70%. Next, 90%. It is, sorry. Previously, it is a green color one. It is a status message. Now it is crossing 90%. It is giving a warning message. In warning, it not only gives a warning to the user, but also sends an email to the consultant. The SVT consultant who is responsible for the error management. The recipient who is responsible for error manipulation. He will be received an email regarding this. This particular chemical is reached to 90% level. You need to take some action. Okay, and it won't affect the order. Nothing will be stopped, and you can use the order like anything. So it is the second step. The third step will be blockage. It will throw the message, it will send an email, it will throw the blockage. Blockage means that's it. The sales order cannot be used for any other purposes. It is blocked. A lock will be applicable on the sales order record. You can't save it. You can't maintain it, any information on that. You can't open it in edit mode. Simply a lock is already placed on that. Who can release the lock? SVT consultant. So SVT consultant will open the transaction SBRC21 to check this kind of lock informations, and he will go to the particular line item and he will release the lock, and he will do the necessary action for the blockage because it's crossed 100%. So two activities can be there: reduce the quantities in the sales order, or registration can be renewal. You need to take a new registration, or you need to change the settings in the configuration. So these are the activities to be done to avoid the blockages and all. So this is the complete story of relevant relative quantity limit values. Any queries? Hello, any queries?
No donation.
Okay. I already discussed about the bonded warehouses, right? The warehouses which are under the control of customs officers. You need to set up the bonded warehouses inside that, and you need to maintain a warehouse as a bonded warehouse by selecting the proper storage location, and it can be treated as a bonded warehouse. The concept is completely standard, and it will take care of the responsibility related. And whatever it is entering into bonded warehouse, that cannot be tracked because it is not coming inside the country. Unfortunately, it is in the border, and customs is really responsible for that. So no need to take any kind of custom related operations. Thank you. Just a second. So this is the story of bonded warehouses. In every functional module, we have baddies to enhance some features. Inside the tracking process, there are some baddies. If you need any enhancements required from the business, you can activate these baddies by creating the implementation class and all. If you want to know the baddie related stuff and all, what exactly the enhancement we can put. So this is the complete story. You can read it and you can maintain the same. Okay. Set up online checks. Online checks means okay. Suppose you have a material. Okay. You have a material, and in the material, we have two pure substances involved, P1 and P2. For these two pure substances, the composition was formed, and finally you created a sales order for the particular material. The sales order is going to Spain. means the delivery plant will be in Spain. You're shipping it from Germany. So the order will go from Germany to Spain. In such case, unfortunately, the material is containing two pure substances. Out of them, one pure substance is banned in Spain. Out of them, one pure substance is banned in Spain. Okay. Suppose you created the sales order and you're moving the sales order to Spain and you completed the transport related and you paid all the charges, and whenever you're entering the Spain border with that particular component, obviously if you're going with the chemical, they should easily understand, okay, this particular material, they will check for the ingredients and they can able to see the pure substance detail. So they will understand this pure substance which is involved in this particular material. Then they will say this is blocked in Spain. You can't process the sales order or you can't process the truck towards the Spain. So everything is wasted, right? The transport costs, the packaging costs, sales order related, the dealings with the client, everything is wasted. Instead of doing all these things before, just whenever we are creating the sales order, if it is not possible to move any kind of pure substance to that particular place, system automatically throw an error message or just give me some hint that this material is not possible to move to Spain. This kind of information is really needed, right? Compatibility. So this kind of concept will be dealt in this point, online checks. Under the regulation, notification status. Positive listing means it is treated as positive listing. This is okay. We can move the material or kind of. Negative listing. This is not really needed. Restricted. So these are the different phrases which are responsible for online checks. Simply whenever you are creating a sales order or you are dealing with the delivery, these checks will be performed, and if there is any kind of blockage, simply system will throw an error message and it will ask the user to stop. This is really not good to proceed further. There is no need of. So the order will be cancelled. Means the user will cancel the order. It is just the user's interest. But system wise, we will give the information, we will pop up the info and we will inform this is not this is not compatible to move the particular pure substance to this particular delivering plant. So this is the information we use to give the. For that, in general online checks, we use to provide the function modules and all which are responsible. Sometimes if there is any check on the limit value, then the limit value is also maintained. Volume determinations, block follow on document. These are the configuration function modules. There is no need to remember any kind of function modules. Always the function modules will be present inside. If you want to put the checks active for the sales orders, so see this is the checkbox, you need to activate it, and finally you need to maintain the set online checks and everything will be maintained. Don't remember the function modules, it will be present all there. Okay, relevance checks. Okay, is it clear? That can be entered or not, and if there is any checks on the volume, so or value limits, everything will be dealt in this online checks. Is it okay? Can I proceed further? Now, I will also wait for your reply. No issues at all. You can take half an hour also. We will wait like this.
You can proceed, Ramesh.
Then you can say that, right? You people can say that, right? What is the reason to take that much time long? So suppose, as mentioned previously, if the sales order is went to a blocked state, or if it is crossing the initial threshold, that is 70%, or it is crossing the warning related 90%, or if it is crossing the 100%, from second step onwards, we need to send the messages. To whom we can send messages? There is a node provided there, and you can maintain the email address. What is this? This is the recipient, because they're maintaining the recipients in distribution lists and all, I think. So you can also maintain your email ID, email address also here to send all kind of warnings, what exactly it is. So simply you can create the configuration for your emails, maintaining and all, and finally you can send the information. If it is went to a warning, or if it is a system is trying to send the information as an email, then system will check for this configuration, and based on this configuration, system will send the email. This is the one. This is the place where exactly we can maintain different things. In this case, see this, I told you this is a distribution list. Distribution list means a distribution list will be maintained in SAP which involved multiple users. So if this list is present over there, all the users which are involved in this distribution list will be sent an email. Otherwise, if you're involved, if you're interested to put a SAP user like this, you can put the SAP user and his user ID can be maintained, and an internet address which is completely outside of the organization, external address. So these kind of information can be maintained, and it is always, I think, yes, it is internet address. Email address generally we use it to maintain this. So this is the place exactly we use it to maintain the recipient stuff. Okay, recipient stuff. Specify functions for volume monitoring. We are calculating the volumes, right? The volumes will be calculated inside the SVT process, because you are taking the compositions and you are applying some rules, and you are generating the volume related operations. So all these volume related calculations will be, the function modules will be maintained there, and it is completely standard. There is no need to remember anything. Just click on this node. You can get the function modules. Based on the function modules, you just get the information out there. Okay. So the property tree in while we are working on some filling transactions, initial stage we are working on filling, right? For the filling, the information will be calculated from property tree related stuff. So the exchange of data from specification property tree, all these function modules are really required. So we need to maintain these function modules, and they are also standard. Mostly SAP will provide all the things, what exactly needed. No need to do anything from our side. With license, you can get all the things, but the initial components, what exactly the configuration required in those needs to be treated, and you need to work on them. Setup job for volume processing tracking. So I already told you, right? There are 3 operations in SVT: filling, tracking, and monitoring. Filling is a operation generally which for every material you need to check the composition based on the specification, and it will trigger the values inside the composition table. This is the process of filling. Every day there might be chance some users can create new materials, and the new assignments will be happen to the specifications. Who will create these composition, or who will run this filling transaction day to day? Every day people don't run this transaction, right? So we will create a background job for that. The filling transaction will be run on every day at midnight. So whatever the materials which are created recently, or the materials which are assigned to the specifications, automatically those compositions will be added to the tracker tables, that is filling table. So that is a background job. Who will do the tracking? Suppose day by day we use to use this, they will create hundreds of sales orders. If you're creating a sales order, obviously that should be tracked. So the tracking tables will be run, the tracking background job will be run on every day midnight, and the tracking will be happened. Generally tracking will not be maintained at midnight. It is not a single activity. It is very frequent activity. So we need to run very frequently the tracking algorithm, because whenever the sales order is triggered, the tracking program should trigger. Otherwise, if it is maintained at midnight or something, then at the time the remaining sales orders will be created, and then maybe the operations can be performed. So it is not good to maintain for day per day. It is not good, because your quantity is at 70 tons. You created a sales order worth 35 tons. Sorry, 20 tons. Then it will go to the 90, and it will give you the message and all. But everything will happen only when the track tables is in updated status. But if the track table is designed at midnight, and the second sales order will definitely break the rule. So that is not good. So tracking tables, tracking program will be updated very, very frequently, and that background job will be scheduled on frequent basis. So these are the 2 background jobs you can schedule. One is for filling and one is for tracking. Anyways, monitoring, it is a job, it is a program to check. There is nothing really required from there. You need to verify the things. Verification cannot be done by the robot, right, or a program. So you need a consultant will be, a business consultant will be responsible, or it is his daily activity, and his role is to check the transaction code CBRC20 on daily basis. And also a transaction CBRC10 is also available, which can give the log details. Each and every log details can be present over there, and it is his responsibility to check this transaction CBRC. Then on the complete day, he will get all the information, all the logs, it will be provided. So this is the job of SVT consultant. I'm not a functional consultant. This is a job of an SVT consultant from business side. He is responsible to check all the logs and all, which component is in 70% or threshold it is, which is getting normal status messages, which is getting warning messages. It is completely his activity. Then he needs to adjust the values in the configuration, or just he can do anything. Now only representative parts. I already told you there are two types of ORs will be present. One is internal OR, second one is external OR. External OR is a company which is representing a manufacturer who is staying outside of Europe, and he will take care of all registration related activities and tracking related operations. Anything which is coming to external OR can be tracked, and which is from business side, which is coming from external OR, cannot be tracked. Means, suppose in Europe you ordered something and the vendor is sending the information to this particular external OR, and you will get the delivery from external OR. But external OR will take care of all the tracking related stuff. As a company, there is no need to track anything, so no tracking. Internal OR, it is a legal subsidiary which is created by the company inside Europe, and it is taking care of all the SVT related operations and tracking related operations and registration related operations and ECA related communications. So internal OR will take care of everything for overall the Europe and for all the plants. System will check simply. You will get the goods and everything from the internal OR inside Europe. So this is a way to reduce your expenses. There is no need to take registration for the same product from different companies. You can form the internal OR and you can apply the registration form there, and you can supply the materials from there to other plants. That is internal and external ORs. Those will be seen in CBRC. What is the transaction? CBRC 01, it is external OR 01, 02 is internal OR. So choose one and maintain the data. Yeah, this is the external OR. So in this external OR, the regulation list needs to be mentioned. That is the key for identifying the scenario or anything SVT related stuff. Regulatory list is the key point, and the external business partner, who is the manufacturer who is staying outside of Europe. So his information needs to be maintained, and for which material he is doing that is needed, and only representative, that is the information he need to maintain. So this is the place who is staying inside Europe, and this is the company who is outside of Europe, and from which state to which state it is valid. So like the same way CBRC 02, you can maintain the internal ORs. So this is the concept of ORs. Notification checks, we already mentioned that. Some configuration help really required for TSCA. TSCA is a configuration. TSCA is a regulation from United States, so which will take care of import and both export. Means anything which is coming to US and going out of US. So both the scenarios will be tracked, and also including production. So this is a complete scenario for TSCA. Authorization management, there is no need to deal anything from your side, because some specific authorizations are required to do or manipulate the SVT related operations. For CBRC 20, to execute the fill transactions, to execute the to execute the tracking operations. Some authorizations are required. Without those authorizations, you can't perform anything. Even though you press the execute button, system will not give you anything because internally it will check for the authorization object, and you don't have the authorization object, system won't perform anything. Simply you don't get any data in CBRC20 and you will get a shock. And you seems to you will think like that nothing is getting tracked and something is wrong with the configuration. Unfortunately, it is not a problem with the configuration of the data. It is a problem with your configuration. Unfortunately, you don't have the proper role to execute that particular CBRC20. In such case, there is no need to get panic. Please execute the table and check the data in the table. If it is exhibiting the data in the table, you need to understand you don't have the proper authorization in CBRC20 to see the data. So that is the way you can understand the issues. So this is the whole configuration which is related to SVT. I already told you the filtrations, how to put on material level, how to put on mid level on logistic data or material data. But I need to tell you how to put the filtrations on specification level. So filtrations on specifications level. In this notification status, I will do reverse engineering to see which characteristic is involved in this. There is no object. Very good. The second concept will be checking the environmental parameters. This can be a breakthrough. Just simply drag whenever you can see SVT. Yes. In SVT, this is the class which is generally we use it to put inside the classification view. But to understand this is the class, we need to provide this class information in somewhere, right? In this configuration, we need to maintain inside a environmental parameter. See this, these are responsible for online checks, banned, negative, phrase not banned, phrase positive. So all these phrase negative, everything. See this is the one. SVT phrase specification exclusive, exclusions on regression. So filtering out specifications. This is the phrase. You need to create a phrase and you need to maintain this phrase and you need to assign the phrase to specification inside anywhere. But for that, you need to maintain the value assignment type and also characteristic, right? For that, you need to go to specify scenarios and regulation scenario inside the main node reach. And this is the place. Filter. So this is the place you need to maintain the value assignment type and also the characteristic which where exactly you want to maintain. Suppose you want to maintain the exempted value in this notification, you just maintain this value assignment type and this value assignment characteristic and just put this, fill these two information and also regulation list, that is this one. Okay, this is the way to maintain the filtrations on specification level. This is the whole concept of filtrations, which can be happened on substance volume tracking. So, any queries? Okay, Mr. Gautam. So, any queries on the existing topics or present topics? What exactly we discussed? Did you understand the concepts?
Yes.
So, we will do an activity one by one.
Ramesh,
Choose. Yeah.
Ramesh, I have one question, Ramesh.
Yeah.
See, under the one regulation, can we track import and export quantities? See, for example, we have reach regulation, right? Under the reach regulation, can we track import and export, or do we need to create separate regulation?
No. Each and every regulation have all the scenarios. You can able to see the configuration. See this? This is the configuration where exactly you can see it will ask you to create the scenarios. It will ask you to create the scenarios which are responsible for the regulations. You can use any scenario under the regulation. Like in configuration node also, you can able to see in under reach, you can put import, export, production. See this, all these three nodes.
Yeah, okay, Ramesh. In one of the system, I have seen reach import and reach export, both two regulations I have seen. So,
Yes,
so
reach import and reach export. It is a regulation.
yeah, reach import on regulation and reach export on regulation. Both two regulation they maintain some of the systems. So
I can't comment on that because there might be some different requirements from the business, and maybe business is asking them to do like that or something. I don't know the complete context, right? But it is not advisable. You have a beautiful way of maintaining the regulations and scenarios like this. What is the reason to maintain reach import and reach export? What is the reason? I don't understand. Sorry.
okay, Ramesh, thank you.
So, any more queries?
No, Ramesh.
So, if there is no queries from your side, we will do one activity. Out of this substance volume tracking, choose any topic on your own and you just discuss on the topic and you just give some information or brief on the topic. Choose any of the topic from SVT. We covered a lot of configurations and we covered a lot of information from SVT, right? So choose any topic from SVT side and you can just give some information on that. Okay. This is Sivananda. Choose your own topic and start.
Yes, Ramesh. Then we can discuss about the SVT only better. So SVT is mainly we'll use for import and export and production quantities tracking based on the country regulation or regional regulations. So if we need to track any of the materials, first the prerequisite is we need to maintain the in the MM02 in the classification whether it is SVT relevant or not. And the second one is the material is environmental relevant or not. The checkbox we need to check it. And later in the property tree we need to maintain the values like what is the quantity, limit quantity and all. So those details, those characteristics values and value assignment details we need to maintain into the SPR configurations. So there are some two programs are there, REGHVT and REGHFill. If we run those programs, it will fill that tracking tables.
No, Sivananda, you just concentrate on the prerequisites for SVT. What are the prerequisites?
The prerequisites are for the material. In the material side, we need to maintain whether the material is SVT relevant or not.
Okay,
that is one thing. And another thing is
relevant. Next, second one.
Yeah. Second one is material is environmental relevant or not. The checkbox
No need. Even I don't want to put the environmental relevant. I don't put the conditional selection criteria. I don't do anything. But if is it really required?
Yeah, it's a really required. If it is the EHS material,
I don't consider it as a EHS material or something. I don't want to ship any MSDS in this case. I'm not controlling the selection criteria with environmental relevant flag. It is not a mandatory. If you want to put, you can put.
Yeah. Okay,
So
that is
the first thing is you mentioned SVT relevant flag. That is really good. And the second one?
second one is in the properties. We need to maintain the values.
First of all, going to the property tree, you're at the material stage. Come slowly.
Yeah, in the material level, in the classification only, we need to maintain.
Yeah, that is okay. That first point is covered. That is okay. What about the others? Whether the the material should assign to a specification, right?
Oh, okay. The material should need to assign to the specification.
Specification, okay.
And the real substance should need to have the listed substance also.
How?
Listed substance also. The listed substance we can assign into the specification management to the specification.
Where exactly you will assign?
In the composition section.
Yeah. So your wording is you need to maintain a composition. You need to maintain the proper configuration for that particular specification, and it is not a list substance, and it is pure substance.
Yes, Ramesh.
Okay.
So mainly we will track for the pure substance data.
Generally you track for the pure substance. Sometimes some business don't have the pure substance configuration, then they use it for list substance, but mostly it is recommended for pure substances.
Yes, Ramesh.
Because list substance data is your purchased from somebody. You purchased the data. If you're doing any manipulations on the list substance data, it is not recommended, right? Why don't you create some pure substance and you can do the manipulations over there? It is the data you purchased from the content. What is the reason to manipulate it? You have an Excel file. You want to do some operations on that. Generally, what exactly the way you will create a copy for the Excel and you will do the changes on the copy. You don't edit the original. That is the same way we create the pure substance and we will use the inheritance and we will put all the values into pure substance and finally we will change the pure substance. That is the logic. So the first thing is material should be relevant for SVT. That flag needs to be activated. Specification should be assigned to the material. Second one, third one should be a composition which was involved in SVT configuration should be maintained. The composition should be maintained. Fourth one.
Sorry, Ramesh.
What is the fourth one? Still you're not done. What are the different prerequisites? 3 you mentioned. Do you feel any other?
Currently, next we need to maintain the data into the pure substance level.
What data?
Ramesh.
What data?
Quantity, limit
Which
quantities.
quantities? Which quantities?
Listed substance quantities means as per the reach regulation.
Maybe you're talking about. Let me open a pure substance, then I will discuss with you. Maybe you are talking.
Under the regulation.
Regulation, notification status, registration company.
Yeah, registration company.
Registration quantity. This is the registration company details. This needs to be filled. If there is a registration, please fill the registration detail. You mentioned some quantities. That is what I'm thinking and looking. Exactly the quantity concept. Quantity concepts will be present in under SVT node. This is the one, quantity limits.
If you open Europe valuation tab folder.
Are you talking about this one or any other?
Europe and Middle East, Africa. There is one more folder.
Yeah, which one? This one. Okay.
Yes.
Next. Which one you want to?
Here only I think we have.
Because SVT is international. Generally, you don't put the SVT registration concepts in any particular region. It will be applicable to international.
Yes, I think it is under the international.
Because SVT have multiple regulations. If it is REACH, it is related to Europe. If it is related to TSCA, then it is related to US. So generally we used to maintain all the registration certificates in this. The point is you are talking about the quantity limits. So the point is, if you don't want to maintain the configuration as quantity limits in this place, this is the quantity limits configuration. If you don't want to maintain there, then you can maintain the quantity limits information inside the specification. Because if you maintain it in configuration, it will be applicable to all materials, all specifications. If you don't want to maintain like that and you want data to be specific to the specification, then you can maintain different information for different specifications. That is the reason you have the node. And the produced.
So instead of maintaining into the property, directly we can maintain the configuration level, right?
Yes. If you maintain the
Okay,
configuration, there is no need
the
to maintain for each and every specification.
Okay.
And the produced and consumed and purchased quantities. These quantities will get automatically filled. Once the SVT tables are getting updated, your information will be automatically filled. There is no need to maintain anything from your side. Sold quantities and all. So this is the complete story of prerequisites. Do you feel any other prerequisites you missed?
And also we need to create the regulation also, which regulation, whether it is a REACH.
Yes. We need to create the regulation if it is not present in the system.
Yes.
Okay. Any other prerequisites? Any other?
Sorry, Ramesh.
Any other prerequisites you missed?
Yeah, this much only, Ramesh.
Any other prerequisites from the whole team? Please discuss 1 minute and come back with the prerequisites.
Or maybe setting up the regulation and the filters which you just showed in the configuration, where you have maintained equals to and range values.
Yeah, that is a selection criteria. You can put a lot of filters on the logistic data. This is also a part of configuration, but it is not a prerequisite. Generally, we use to get the information from business, and business based on the business decisions or their interests, we use to maintain this table. This table is very much important in SVT concept. Everything can be controlled by using this table only. So this is very important. Do you think any other prerequisites? Anything more?
That is something which I can think of. Or did we miss anything, Ramesh? So maybe you can let us know.
Who will maintain the polymer information?
Okay, the phrase. Yeah.
We need to know, right, which pure substance is polymer, which pure substance is not polymer. So if it is a polymer, we need to maintain the phrase. And if you are maintaining it as a polymer, what exactly the other thing we need to maintain? If it is a polymer, it should have what?
Monomers.
Yes. So it should have monomer composition. The composition needs to be maintained for monomers again. So these are two important things. And suppose business asks you to provide some exclusions on the specification side, then you need to maintain the exclusion phrase on the specification level also. These are all the prerequisites for maintaining SVT concept. So, Pavani, explain the importing concept. Give me an example so that people will also easily understand. Take a material, take the shipping point and delivery point. So people will have some idea from where to where the material is going, and you can explain the importing concept. whenever somebody asks you for a scenario, you should ask for which regulation it should be. Because scenarios can be different based on the regulations. So whenever somebody asks for a scenario, you ask for which regulation you want it. Pavani?
Yes, Ramesh. Can you
Then
regulation?
yeah, regulation will be reach. Please explain the reach importing scenario.
The company which imports the products outside based.
Okay, give me
Based
an
on-
example.
If any product that may be coming to Europe region.
From where?
Within the Europe only we need reach
I
regulation.
asked, I'm asking you to provide an example. Example means give me the shipping point, give me the delivery point, just give me some realistic data. Anywhere means what I can choose. You give me some anywhere means just give me a country which is outside of Europe and inside of Europe. Then you just pull the material from that place to this place and explain the detail how the importing scenarios happen. Take an example. It is okay. Even something happens, I will definitely help you. But take an example on your own. On your own, you take the leadership and you come with an example and you explain the data. If there is something wrong, then we will talk it about later. Just come back.
If the material is shipping from India to Europe, is Germany.
Okay. The material is in naphthalene balls and then naphthalene balls is shipping from India to somewhere. Tell me the country, destination country.
Germany.
Germany. India to Germany. Okay. Now you are explaining the concept called importing, right?
Is
So
from India. For Germany, we are importing the material.
okay.
This naphthalene balls.
SVT is implemented in which system?
Is we reach is imported in
Is it implemented in Indian system or German system?
Germany system.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Who is staying in Germany? Is it a company or vendor?
Vendor is
Vendor is staying in Germany. So who is staying in India?
company is staying.
Company is staying in India. Okay. How a vendor is sending the information to India?
Based on Germany regulation, supplier from India is.
You mentioned supplier is in Germany, right? Supplier and vendor both are same. That is the question actually. Who is staying in which country? There are two roles because you are importing. Importing means
Supplier who is.
Importing means purchasing. You are purchasing something. Purchasing means your a supplier or vendor should be placed at one place and the person who is purchasing, he should be present at one place. So who is present in which place?
Supplier is at India,
Supplier is at India.
but importer is from Germany.
Importer, you can mention that. Importing country. Okay. Importer or the company is present in Germany.
Purchasing is Germany.
Okay. Now
Based on German regulation only, SVT is.
first of all, for REACH regulation, it is applicable to the overall Europe. There is no concept of German. So REACH will satisfy German regulations and forget about German. Because reg underscore Reach will contain the country German also. DE. DE is also added as a validity area inside reg_reach. So no concept of German. It is a regulation which is reach was selected. Now you tell me. You mentioned there is a supplier in India and there is a company in Germany. How the importing will take place? Who will do what?
German it will purchasing, right? We need.
Yeah, who is purchasing?
German.
German what? German
is purchasing, so it will track
no. Give the example in a proper way. Supplier is sitting in India, company is sitting in Germany. Whenever you are talking about the purchaser or the importer, you should talk it as German company. German company will do the purchase. Okay. Okay. You tell me, German company is doing the purchase. How? What will be the steps?
They will track the material.
Forget about the tracking. Yeah. For purchasing, what exactly you do in the system?
Purchase order need to be.
Raise the purchase order. I'm the German company, right? So I should raise the purchase order. To whom?
To the Indian.
To the Indian. To the Indian.
But Indian company, we need to raise purchase.
It is not a company, Pavani. It is not a company. Indian supplier.
Supplier. Yes.
Okay. German company raised a purchase order for Indian supplier. Okay. Okay. Now I raised a purchase order to you. Now what is the next step?
They will purchase and use within their company, maybe for sub companies.
Okay. Don't complicate the example. Okay. They purchased it for their own company. They need the naphthalene balls and they want the naphthalene balls highly demanded. They need to put inside their wardrobes of the company. So what? I purchased I raised the purchase order. Now what next? I created the purchase order. In my system, the purchase order was created. At the time of creation, what will happen?
It will check for prerequisites like quantity.
How the purchase order is getting tracked or how the purchase order is getting the information for all the tracking related stuff?
Filling.
Okay, forget about the filling concepts and all. How a purchase order can be get all these kind of details. Even if you run the filling transactions will be on daily basis. You don't do them. You don't do them when you're creating the purchase order or something. Every night the filling transaction was completed and the material was already maintained the proper composition inside the comp table. You don't do any filling transactions or tracking. They will be automatic and you schedule the jobs. If there is any problem you do and you at the first time you will create the jobs. You will schedule the jobs. That's it. Whenever the system is maintained with the purchase order, what will be the steps? How the purchase order will check the data? How it can be tracked? What will be present in a purchase order?
It will check for the material is satisfying certain regulation.
Okay. So material is present inside the purchase order. Whenever that particular material is chosen, what should be the first step?
That material need to be shipped to that country. There is a permission. Quantity that needs to be used.
Oh, what is the first step for SVT?
For material, there needs to SVT flag needs to be
Yes, SVT flag is present or not. That is the first step. Okay, it will check for the SVT flag. Then what? Then what is the next?
That material need to be assigned to specification.
Super. The material is assigned to a specification or not. Then what?
That specification need to be contains some composition information.
Yes, excellent, excellent. Ausgezeichnet. Du bist ausgezeichnet. You are excellent. So the specification is containing the standard composition or not. If it is having a standard composition, what are the components? The components are present inside the comp table or not. So these are existing. Then what it will do for the particular composition?
There is
The
any
pure
polymer.
substances. Sorry.
There is any polymers or pure substance.
There are any. First of all, we will come the filtrations concept in the second way, like logistic filtrations. Any purchase organization or purchase item category, all these kind of checks are present in the system or not, whether this purchase order was tracked or not, whether the purchase order is chosen for track or not. So all these conditions are validated. Finally, you will go to the specification and you will go for exemptions which were maintained on the value assignment. Finally, the specification is perfect for tracking. Then it will be added to the tracking tables of SVT. And you can able to see the information in CBRC20 as a tracked substance. For the tracked substance, what it will give the information, it will show you the regulation, the scenario it is importing, the material which is involved, the quantity, how much it is, the purchase order which is involved inside, and also it gives the information it is a planned quantity because it is just a purchase order. Nothing was happened. You can cancel the purchase order also, but it is not yet confirmed. So the purchase order was happened. Okay. Now that particular purchase order will be maintained with the proper information. Suppose you purchased 1 ton and your registration, your threshold is around 70 tons. So a green traffic light will be created, means it will be assigned to that particular record, and a record will be maintained in CBRC 20. This is the whole concept of importing scenario. And after 2 days, I received the goods receipt. I received the goods receipt. I received the goods at my German warehouse. I received the items and I raised the goods receipt. Then system automatically checks for the goods receipt concept and it will move the planned quantity to confirmed quantity because I received the goods and it will be treated as a confirmed quantity now. Okay. So this is the cycle of importing scenario in SVT for reach regulation. Did you understand, Pavani?
Yes, Ramesh.
You are clear with all your queries now?
Yes.
Do you have any queries left?
No, Ramesh.
Now,
Ramesh, I have
Lalitishji.
a question here. So
Yeah.
this registration has to be there before the purchase order, right?
Yes. Yes. As a prerequisite, you already mentioned we need to maintain the registration concept.
Okay,
But
before
this is
the
not a
purchase
mandatory
order.
parameter. If your registration is there, it will check the information against your registration. If your registration is not there, we already maintain the quantity limits over there, correct? You already
Okay.
maintain the quantity limits. It will check against the quantity limits. Suppose you maintain 100 tons. Right now you entered a 1 ton purchase order, which is informed by Pavani. So the system is calculating 1 ton and it is comparing with 100 tons and the system is now in safe level. Only a status message will be sent with the green color. Did you understand?
Yes.
Perfect. Soumya,
Yes, hi Ramesh.
Explain the export scenario for the regulation REACH.
Okay, so if the company is in inside Europe and
It's
it
an
is,
example basis.
yes, so if the company is set up inside Europe and
Which country?
uh, maybe Germany only, we will take Germany
Germany
only.
will be the country. Okay, next.
And we are trying to export the material from Germany to maybe India.
India. Right, super. What is the material?
What is the material?
Choose any material.
Sorry.
Choose any material.
Okay. Maybe we are exporting some paints.
Yes, perfect. A paint you are exporting from Germany to India.
Right.
Next.
So since the owning company will be inside Europe and it is being exported outside Europe, so will REACH be applicable? Because during when the products are imported inside Europe, then REACH is applicable because it's inside, because something is coming inside Europe region. But since we are exporting it to India, which is not inside Europe, so I'm not sure if REACH will be applicable for it.
The point is you explained the general export concept. I'm talking about REACH export concept.
So in that case, you expect that it should be inside, the export should happen inside Europe only.
Yes, every time if you mention REACH, it is only entering into Europe. Then export should be happened from outside of India, sorry, India to Germany.
From India to Germany. So the product is being sent from India to Germany. That paint is being sent from India to Germany. Is that
Yes. Yes.
okay? Okay, so in that case, it will be a sales, right? Because
Yeah.
then sales order will be created.
At where?
Since it is being sent from India to Europe,
Yes. Yes.
so sales order will be created at India.
At the Indian legal entity, same company it is, but a different legal entities they are. So from Indian company, from the Indian sales organization, the sales order will be created for that
Right.
particular material, and the shipping or delivery point will be Germany. No,
Germany.
no.
Right. So
Next.
now the material which is maintained in the sales order, that material, first thing that will be checked will be if the material is marked as SVT relevant in the material master.
Okay.
Then second thing that will be checked will be that material should be linked to the specification.
Okay.
And that specification should have the all the composition values.
Okay.
And
Suppose
due
you maintained two configurations in the system. One is legal composition and the second one is standard composition. Unfortunately, I didn't maintain anything in the legal composition. What system will do?
okay, so if there is no composition maintained, then how will be the SVT process?
No, you didn't hear the question again. Please check this. You in your configuration, you maintain two compositions, priority one, priority two. First one is legal, second one is standard. In my specification, I didn't maintain the legal. I maintained the standard composition. Then what system will do?
I'm not sure, Ramesh. If legal is not maintained and standard is maintained.
Yes. It will check for the priority. As a priority, what are the composition nodes maintained in the configuration? The priority one, it is legal. The system automatically checks the legal composition. If it is not existing, it will go for the second priority. It will check for the standard composition. Then standard composition, you can see the data. So simply system choose the standard composition data. Suppose in your specification, you maintain both the compositions, standard and legal. What the composition system will take?
Based on the priority again.
Yes, priority one, legal is maintained. What it will do?
So it will take the legal composition since it's a priority one.
Correct. What will be the next process?
Okay, so now during, so once the sales order is created, all these checks have happened. Then it will check for the filter criteria, that logistic filter table which I've shown.
Yes.
So that process will take place. And since we have maintained delivery and sales and all those different scenarios, so based on the delivery scenario and whatever conditions that business has given and we have maintained in the system, the block will happen based on the confirmed quantity or the quantity that is maintained in the sales order and the condition that is maintained in the criteria in the table that we have configured.
Next.
So after the check has happened, if the order is blocked, if the quantity is exceeded, then the order will be blocked. If it's in the threshold limit, the order will not be blocked.
Okay, if the order is blocked, what are the actual things can be happened from SVT configuration?
So there were three things that you have shown. The first thing is that it can display a message, normal warning message. Second, it can display a message. It can give an error message also, warning and error message. And third will be
Which message, warning or error?
first will be if the quantity is 70, I think 70. If it is first was 70, 90, and then 100. So for 70,
What
it
are
was.
those? What are those? 70, 90, 100. What are those?
I think that was one limit. Maybe. So if it is
Those are percentages. 70
okay.
percentage of that particular material or particular substance. So if
Okay.
it is 70%, then what?
Then it will display a normal warning message.
No. Status
First,
message, green color.
okay, status message. Then next, if it is 90%, then that message and then plus warning message.
No, it is
Error.
simply a warning. It is simply a warning. Plus,
Okay.
plus.
Error. Two check boxes were checked. First was I think the same that status message, and second was I think error message.
No. For 90, what the action will happen?
It will display a error message.
Warning.
Warning message. Okay.
Error is always if you cross the quantity. It's
Okay.
Warning 90.
Warning.
Next 90 warning plus.
Processing status was the.
No. 90 for warning plus.
9 warning plus status message.
No. System always gives a single message in any case. If it is for the threshold, green color. If it is crossing warning, it is in yellow color. If it is crossed, red color. Only it will display a single message at any time. Okay. Have you ever seen in any transaction system is throwing different kinds of messages at the same time?
No.
It's meaningless, right?
Right.
For 90%, it will throw warning message and also what it will do?
SVT consultant will get the notification.
Yes. The mail should be received by an SVT consultant.
So that will be due in 100%, right?
No. We are increasing the steps. In increasing the steps, 70% message, 90% two activities, message plus mail, 100% three activities, message plus mail plus
Block.
Blocking.
yes. You are in the third thing,
This
right?
is Ramesh, and this is Ramesh, and this is also totally business decision, Ramesh.
Yes. Completely business decision. If you are simply without taking the permissions from business and you are blocking the orders and that is it is happening in production, that's it. We need to find a new job.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Ramesh, and sorry,
Because
actually, in next,
you are a customer in
yeah,
India and you are trying to purchase something in Amazon. Every time when the order is getting created, it is automatically cancelled. Then who will purchase the materials from Amazon? All the business which was happened in the for the complete day will be lost, and it is a huge loss in crores for Amazon. They will find out what is the reason involved in this. And finally, they will find you, Mr. Sivananda, who is responsible for the SVT configuration. He is putting the blockage on that. And simply what they will do.
yes, Ramesh. Thank you, Ramesh. And next 2 minutes, we have another call, Ramesh, for entire team. Can we stop
Okay,
here
so
now?
what I
So
will
can we
do,
continue tomorrow?
okay, sure. So I will continue Soumya after that. So it will end up in a block, unfortunately, and the SVT consultant will get a mail, obviously, and the blockage needs to be removed from CBRC 21 transaction, and he will remove the block from there, and the sales consultant will be informed after changing the configuration or after adjusting the registration or adjusting the quantities inside the sales order. These 3 steps can be performed, and finally he will execute the CBR sales order again in VL03 transaction. The delivery will be followed by using VL03, VL01 transaction, and finally the invoice will be applicable, and the planned quantities of sales will be changed to confirmed quantities of sales. So this is the complete cycle of sales or export. So this is all for today, and thank you so much for the day.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to visit our Vimeo page and follow for more upcoming videos.